Good evening, one and all. Welcome to, I don't know what the hell this is, to be honest with you. A couple more days left here in the kingdom of Charles. And then I go home to the untied states of America. Good evening, JDev. Deadhead, cheers. Get to drink corn syrup in a couple more days. Dice, hello. Those of you in the chat for a while now. Rod, Trevor, Big Rod. I don't know if you switched, if that's the same Rod. And Sean, of course. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the wait. Hashtag vanilla Coke, indeed. Can I highlight that? Did I set this up right? I did. Yes, indeed. Vanilla Coke. And I think somebody said there's raspberry Coke right now. Raspberries. All right. We're not here for that. So I guess it's request weekend for me. I kind of moved things around to put up another Who Would Like That video. That is up if you'd like to be disappointed in something. That is the issue with jumping on something new in regards to the like disturbing films is they haven't gotten their infamy yet. And I think that's big on social media. Apparently, Instagram and TikTok and everything have making a big deal over this coffee table movie. Not a horror movie. It's got this moment that isn't really aligned with something like, I don't know, a Serbian film, Human Centipede. It's just got a messed up thing that happens in it, but otherwise it's a dark comedy. So yeah, that's not doing nearly as well as I would like it to. And the same thing, well, it's hard. It's hard to figure out what gets traction and what doesn't. And I am just oblivious to TikTok and, well, X for that matter, X formerly known as Twitter. And evidently there was news announced over the past couple of days, and people kept asking me, Charles, what do you think of the Jason universe? What do you think of the Jason universe? And I didn't look into it, to be honest with you, because speculation is kind of ridiculous. And it's weird that in this, like, I don't do YouTube well at all. I don't do any of this movie speculation. Well, in the United Kingdom, I don't do it well. When I'm back home and have nothing else better to do, that's when movies are my life. I haven't really needed to care, but in a week, I will need to care, and we'll be back in the swing of things. But I'm going to read the article, the most recent one, which is on deadline.com. I don't know if that's over here or over there, but as far as I know, they're announcing something, and I'm not tremendously excited, if I'm being honest. And I'll explain why on the other end. I'm assuming they're. Am I able to bring this up here? See, I don't like StreamYard. Can you see that? Can you see that? That's an important question. Is it half over my face? Jason breakfast cereal. Okay. Is that unhighlighted? Jesus, what? Yes. Hey, Cody. Apologies, OBS. I don't know. On the job training. Half over your face, yes, but we can see it. Good. All right, so here it is. I will read with you, or you will read with me. And Horror Inc., the original owners of Friday the 13th, are expanding the Jason universe across new entertainment comprised of games, immersive experiences, merchandise, and more. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was going to be. For decades, Jason shocked and thrilled audiences who kept coming back for more. We're excited to work with Victor Miller and Mark. Oh, okay. So Horror Inc. is Victor Miller's piece of the pie. We're excited to work with Victor Miller and Mark Toberoff on new projects we'll announce in coming months, said Robert Barsamian, president of Horror Inc. There's 3 people already. Not one product yet, 3 people talking about how exciting it is. More announcements, More announcements from Horror Inc. are expected throughout the year, in addition to upcoming A24 and Peacock expanded prequel series, Crystal Lake. Is that it? That is it. That is all we have. Oh, wait. Pardon. That's pretty close to being it. We're focused on honoring the legacy while elevating the fan experience and appealing to today's horror audiences, as well as develop new ways to watch, interact, and engage with Jason Universe, said Robbie Barsamian, VP of Horror Inc. With the unique ability to remain at the forefront of pop culture for 44 years. Have you, though? Jason continues to top charts as one of the scariest villains of all time, with strong global awareness across multiple generations thanks to billions of TikTok views, plus millions and millions of gamers and movie fans. We can't wait to introduce new Jason Universe activations to these amazing fans, said Sherry Khan. Now, who the fuck is this? Sherry Khan, the global GM of Horror Inc. Friday the 13th debuted in cinemas on May 9th, 1980, and spawned 11 more sequel, crossover, and reboot movies, plus a television series, games, comics, collectibles, apparel, and more during the course of 4 decades. And is that it? That is it. 4 people talking about how excited they are to bring content to the TikTok universe or crowd. Billions of TikTok views. I'd like statistics on that, to be honest. Somebody, I think, said it earlier. We haven't had a Friday the 13th film in 15 years. What is this announcing a universe full of other shit for? They're picking the worst time to start doing a, I don't know, universe thing or whatever across multiple platforms. Marvel's had its worst year in a very long time. Disney's had its a very rough time of it, and everybody's rethinking the whole universe aspect of entertainment. And here's Horror Inc. saying, hey guys, I realize that we've had a change in showrunners for the show that hasn't been shot yet, but we're going to announce a whole bunch of other shit. I don't want to be the frowny face on what is probably just PR, but 4 names announcing how excited they are for multiple platforms. Just do it. Show me something that you're working on and do a good job and do it the old-fashioned way. To the comment about Jason being the scariest over the last 44 years, maybe one of the most bankable, maybe a great thing to put on a t-shirt. Scariest? I don't know. I'm not the Friday the 13th fanboy that some of you are expecting me to be, even though there's literally shit all over my wall. Look, I even got a little part 2 Jason right at my fingertips here. But see, I've invested in the universe, but I didn't need somebody announcing that they were going to have all of this shit available. It's just licensing in the end. I get it. Victor Miller fought long and hard for whatever it is that he's entitled to, wants to stir up some excitement for it. And this, to me, it reeks of the 007 situation with Broccoli decades ago, probably half a century at this point. And you just had like competing versions of Bond. I think Casino Royale wasn't, I'm not very familiar with those films, so I'm not going to try to do a 1v1 comparison, but it seems like we're going to have different Crystal Lake properties thanks to um, the lawsuit. I think Cunningham is entitled to the title of Friday the 13th, and Horror Inc., otherwise known as Victor Miller, is entitled to Jason. That's why his show is, or the show is called Crystal Lake. So Victor Miller has the important licensing, which is the character that is the scariest in the last 44 years. All right, that person earned their money. But I just don't think this is the best look right now. Just do what you were doing. Jason's been in more video games in the last 10 years than he has in film. And that wasn't made a big stink of, whether it be Mortal Kombat or the gun media games, the Friday the 13th games, which you can't call it that anymore. If you're trying to make Horror Inc. the recipients of that licensing cost. Yeah, Cody, I double down on your sentiment. It sounds like they're unable to make gold with a movie, so they're just going to merchandise the living fuck out of Jason for pennies at a time. Yeah, and it's just weird to front load the announcement like that. Like, guys, we have so much stuff coming out. And it's like, did you need to announce that? I mean, like, by their end of the bargain, this thing right here isn't something they're making money off of because it's got the Friday the 13th title on it. This over here, that was part of the Scream Factory box set. I don't know. This might be something that they would receive money on because it's just Jason, his likeness. But again, the Jason character was like a downloadable thing in Mortal Kombat. If you're going to do that, just keep doing that and cash your checks. Why are you paying 4 people to hype this up? It's interesting that they got Horror Inc. Not that I really give a shit. I thought Horror Inc. was Cunningham's thing, but I don't know. I've kind of got so disgusted with the court case that took way too long to happen. But it's just licensing. It's licensing. They still haven't shot a frame of their television series, which A24 is behind, so that's interesting. I just don't have the excitement that you guys would like me to. And granted, I've been a bit of a grouch the last couple of weeks, but this doesn't wow me. This could be the worst time to announce a universe crossing. Why mention TikTok? Who the fuck cares about Jason on TikTok? Something that is at latest 15 years old in relevancy as far as films are concerned. You know, the thing that caused all this buzz. You're talking about TikTok, something that didn't exist 15 years ago? I just don't understand. Listing off the TV show, the Friday the 13th series is just another case of licensing. It was a shitty Twilight Zone ripoff with the title Friday the 13th. At least A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy's Nightmares, it sort of had this shitty Twilight Zone type feel, but at least it still had Freddy. the television series from Friday the 13th in the 80s was just bootleg. Again, a way to cash checks on the title. It's weird. Friday the 13th and Paramount and all the people behind it, they were kind of one of the first, not one of the first, but as far as, you know, going back to the well every year, even though you said the final chapter was part 4, you made 8 more movies after that, and they would make one every year and not let it breathe at all. They were Marvel before Marvel was, and now Marvel's tanking. And the one thing you can give credit to everything that's happened as far as superhero content in the last 15, 20 years or so is everything seemed rather well planned. And they didn't really, I don't know, they weren't too overzealous with things up front. They methodically made these movies. They made you care about things that, I mean, if you told me 20 years ago that I would give a shit about Iron Man, and that would be the first thing to like really lead this universe, I'd be like, it's not going to make it. But they did a really good job. This is a paper thin character. I realized that. Jason fans, as far as the horror community is concerned, sure, you can love him. I love him too. But he's really just a mascot. It's really all he is. The movies aren't really quality. They serve a purpose. But when it comes to something that I would watch for a version of quality, half of the Friday the 13th franchise is bad. Yes, you have like recognition and character recognition and something to license, sure. But, and again, I get it's PR, but having all of this hoopla behind making more content surrounded around Jason, you were doing, or they were doing that before. So just keep doing that. Do something well and talk about a sequel or whatever. Like what, I keep repeating, it's just licensing. You have Jason in games. Just keep doing that. Just why bring attention to it? Because what you've done is, if it sucks, you've created the inverse of Disney and all Marvel and all that shit. If something sucks, you start to snowball on it, and word of mouth works in the negative way. I don't know why you would bring attention. Well, it's not like it's too much attention. The horror community is rather close and tight knit. And Trevor, I kind of agree with you. Forget the Jason universe. Start from scratch. How about you just release that show that you've been talking about, that you already have changed showrunners on? And if it's good, work from there. I don't know, like, who's genuinely excited about this. And granted, there could be a ton of people that are fired up, and I just am not that. I understand that there's been a lot of fighting and court cases and legal disputes, and this is the fruit of all that labor. But I don't know, the audience, the people that support the platform, I don't know, and it's not TikTok. They'd like something to hold on to. If you genuinely think that the TikTok generation is talking about half of the Friday the 13th franchise as like films they watch on a same level as I don't know, any superhero film, any I don't hear Friday the 13th or Jason Voorhees in discussions in the last 10 years for horror movies that are like moving the needle. Part of that is because there's nothing to talk about. There are some fan films that have done some decent work. There are some fan films that have done a detriment to that universe, but fans have kind of been holding the flame. And you know what? If you want to do something fascinating, go out there and pay one of those fan film makers and, flesh it out a little bit. Because at least there's something proven there. But this stinks. I'm not a big fan of this. And why did they have like a Mortal Kombat looking Jason mask on the logo? Like, I'm not very excited about this. I'd like something to look at, to hold on to, and be like, okay, great start. Um, this 21st century line of thinking with film universes and entertainment universes, they were doing that. Uh, you had Jason in a bunch of games. I don't know television shows so much, but as far as film, why we know this character, 2009, the remake. There hasn't been anything worth talking about for a decade and a half. Give us something to talk about. And even if it were exclusively just this uh, visual media, whether it be shows and movies, what are you going to have, like a Crystal Lake show that like spirals out into the Pamela Voorhees thing, and then the Jason Voorhees thing, and then the Tommy Jar? Like, how many little things are you going to make out of Crystal Lake and Jason Voorhees? It's not exactly Avengers here we're talking about. There's not much to do with that. You make something really good. You start with Jason and make maybe start with Jason and Tommy Jarvis and make something good there. And if there's enough interest, then you kind of bifurcate a little bit. But I just don't. I don't know. I'm not oohing and ahhing about this. There's nothing to hold on to. This is just PR junk. Okay. So, yes, Sean, the game can certainly be repetitive. The Pamela prequel does not sound like a bad idea. I'll expect my phone call. But yeah, I hate to. Can we have a reality TV style show visiting the Voorheeses? Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. Unless you like the. I know you're fucking around, but like reset the clock and have it take place now or something, and Pamela neglects Jason, and something happens, and make that like dramatic. I It's not very exciting to me. And again, like I don't think my nostalgia or my fanhood needs to be contested, but yeah, and I agree with that very much. It should be a movie, not a show. There's not enough meat for a series. I'd like to be proven wrong, but I'd also like to not have four publicity people telling me how great everything's been and is going to be. You could prequel Pamela in her first act. Yeah. Jason today. Jason gets Stop that. Jason today. Jason gets cryogenically frozen again and wakes up today. Now he has to contend with all the wacky modern stuff. Yeah. Like, that's the other thing, too. Cell phones weren't that big a deal the last time we had a Friday the 13th movie. That's how long it's been. Do not tell me that the TikTok generation is buzzing about Friday the 13th. Stop it. It's not exciting for me either. I do miss franchise, but this Jason universe, not pass. It should start on Earth 2. So it's almost been a blessing in disguise. I haven't really been on X, Twitter, in a very long time, probably close to half a year at this point. What is the consensus as far as Twitter's concerned, or TikTok? Are they really? what's the consensus for this Jason universe idea? I hate to be a fucking downer, but this smells to me. It smells bad. Delay. And I forget, for those of you who asked and suggested, I apologize. It was more than one person, I know that. And I didn't think it would be so broad that they would be talking about games and TikTok, but I kind of figured they were going to do this Avengers type thing, and it's kind of what they're doing. They're going further than I thought they were going. I've only seen a couple of people, horror creators, do anything with this whole Jason universe thing. Oh, so you guys wanted me to be the sacrificial lamb. I haven't seen anything. What the hell am I doing this for then? Another 200 view video. Thanks, guys. Well, I'm sure that without that in the background, it would be even less noteworthy. Yeah, I'm not excited at all. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of getting worried. It's not like if you were to take, there's 6 Friday the 13th movies. Everything after my favorite, which is, there's 12 Friday the 13th movies. If you take everything after my favorite, which is the 6th, there's maybe 2 movies in the last 38 years that I would say are neat. And by neat, I don't mean great. This isn't a franchise that's known for its character building. I almost believe that. Jason does makeup tutorial on YouTube. Quick scan through Twitter just now, and there's a small handful of tweets about actual stirrings of the Jason verse. Yeah, my finger is so far away from the pulse. Look, no. Cool. I wish I could put the GIF, the animated John Oliver cool GIF up, because that is me in a nutshell. A pretty honest Friday the 13th fan. And I wouldn't even say that I'm like that ride or die. Great. I mean, you guys fought for a very long time for licensing and money. And now you're front loading whatever the hell you're going to do, which is just licensing, selling that mascot of yours to anyone that'll give you the money. And you're making it seem like you're, I don't know. I've seen Michael Myers in a ton of shit. Has Jason even appeared in Dead by Daylight? Michael Myers has appeared in that. Hell, Ghostface? Not even the same guy, Ghostface. Every time it's a different killer in those movies. I don't think this is as big a deal as articles like this make it out to be. But it's news. It's news for a 15-year gap. What a shock. The majority of input is that the mask and the promo photo looks like shit. And that's one of the first things I said. It just looks like CGI. It's like, woof. Just woof. Clickbait. I've only seen Jason in Family Guy after the 2009 remake, and that's about it. Yeah, there's... Jason is enough. No universe is needed. I'd rather watch fan films than revisit many Friday the 13th properties. I think that's the wishful thinking someday that they will do it right. And unfortunately, the fans don't really have a financial interest in this. And that's kind of where I give them credit. They're doing it because they don't see this as a payday. They're trying to do right by something they see something in. And all those years, court cases and lawsuits, and this just feels so businessy. It doesn't feel, I don't know, film enthusiast, video game enthusiast mentioning TikTok. Who the fuck cares? What are you going to make fucking 30-second movies now? Oh, it's a shame Quibi's gone. Ugh. I've only seen Jason and nope, nothing. Yeah, so that's what I have to say. Cool. The most sarcastic thumbs up that you'll ever see from a quote unquote Friday the 13th fan. I just don't. I don't fucking care. I don't care. And I care less and less about this Crystal Lake show. Brian Fuller was the showrunner and not anymore. And A24 might, wouldn't that be some brilliant news? You want to talk about PR? If Crystal Lake is the first real just botch by A24, that'll be very positive for the Jason brand. The first thing to really take out A24 is Jason Voorhees. Ugh. I could just think of the awful, ironic headlines now. Jason kills A24. Woof. Woof, woof. Time to make up for missed dollars. Let's do some Spaceballs type marketing. Jason on everything, yeah. Jason the machete. Jason missed the boat. I know that wasn't on purpose, but pretty punny. I'm over the revival of slashers after the crap we got lately. Yep. I only cared because Fuller was on board. All interest is gone on my part. Yeah, I mean, I'll be there. I'll watch it, but I'm not devoting more than one episode. I mean, I gave Dexter a second chance for Pete's sake, and they tricked me. So I don't know. If you expected me to geek out about this, I apologize, but I'm not. I'm not going to lie to myself, and I'm not going to lie to you for the sake of, I don't know. All right, so that's my take on it. And we'll be back tomorrow to discuss black comedy. I read the word horror on this website. Let me close this website. That's probably a good idea. Black comedy, that Coffee Table really isn't a horror. It's more of a comedy. But we'll discuss some others that I am fond of. Maybe do some sort of list. You really stretched the fuck out of the no thanks, didn't you? Well, yeah. I was hoping somebody would give me super chats. Black comedy. Yeah. No, dark comedy. But that's tomorrow. Any interest in long legs? No, I haven't seen anything on that, actually. I'll try to check back on that. And now I'm just stuttering at this point. That's it. Little interest. I hope that reported